Now we can do this thing where I have no idea what I'm doing as a tank. It's like, I apologize to someone's like, I have no idea what I'm doing. They're just let the others have it. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I just wanted to be fair and upfront. It's more like... Ah, get out of that. Whee! Missed that one. think the only thing I really have to do is there's one point where there's a boss where I actually have to stand to the side. At least I'm wearing, for the most part, gear for this level range. Do I like not have any kind of AoE skill anywhere? Aha! I knew I had one somewhere. Yes, I'd always like that. More like Megadeth. Not a bad band, not really to my... Not a bad band, but not really to my, quite to my taste. correctly in this game, Doritos just stand together. That other tank took it from me. I had that. May you find your worth in the waking world. A, B, and C, if I remember correctly. An interesting little place. Hey, Zell, how are you? Hopefully you're doing well. I know you said you were being kept busy. Not too bad, not too bad. Take it you've either been watching Edge Runners or been playing Cyberpunk 2077. I'm so pumped since they said that they're doing an actual sequel to Cyberpunk 2077. Just got home. Well, welcome home. Oh no, I've been swallowed. Whee! Got DLC for Cyberpunk 2077, and then got a whole nother game. CD Projekt Red's going to be busy the next couple of years. Because, I mean, they announced, what, 7 different titles? Well, one of them's not really titled, it's just a project at the moment, but... They announced a bunch of Witcher stuff, the Witcher stuff, they announced a bunch of Cyberpunk stuff. Which ending did you get? Because I know there's like 7 or 8 different possible endings. Although granted, a bunch of them are, for the most part, fairly similar. But they're all basically based upon... You mean left the Earth for the space station? If so, that's the ending I took. You But that's where you give Johnny the boot out of your head and didn't go through, basically bust down the front door of Arasaka. I still have to say, Bayonetta's here would probably give you a run for your money. Yeah, you do. But at least in the ending I got, I'd left Earth to go to the space station on basically one last suicide mission. I didn't romance Panam. I romanced what's her name? The other romanceable female. Yeah, I think it was Judy. And it gave you like a few final moments with her, and then you went up in space for one final job as a suicide mission. And then basically it left off where you died up there. And then during the credits, there was just like a bunch of phone calls, like video messages left behind for you. I'm going to replay Cyberpunk once the DLC comes out. Oh, see, I snuck in and tried to take down Arasaka. I didn't work with them at all. Because fuck Arasaka. I played too much Shadowrun. Fuck any kind of mega corporation. No, me and what's her name tried to sneak in and take the place down, and then all hell broke loose. The best ending is where you go through and just go right in the front door solo with Johnny. But that's a really tough ending to actually be able to get. So you want the corpses en route just to get through an already fucked up file? I get that. I get that. I screwed up a few things, and then I could have saved it if I would have said the right things during a specific conversation with Johnny. But I didn't say the right things. So I didn't get the best possible ending option. But I figure in a few months when the DLC comes out, and I'll play it again, but this time on the PS5 and play the PS5 version. And Didn't pay enough attention at the start, so bad that you never even went to a Ripper Dock after the mandatory Vic visit. I mean, I don't know how that would really screw things up too badly. Didn't screw things up, but made you miss on so many power-ups. Yeah, that I can understand that it would do. Although, granted, if you went through and found all the things, the sheer amount of overpowered you are by the end of everything. So, this is the heart of the ruins, eh? You've done a fine job dismantling the defenses. I only wish we could say we had the same success. But Radley and her talons were nowhere to be found. Yes, it is quite distressing, but we must focus on claiming the prize at hand. The Nullstone is ours. Atom Smasher, if you do like the best possible ending, the one that's really hard to get, he's actually beefed up a lot. But there's also like some things that you can do specifically that actually overall weaken him for the fight too. Mwahaha! You've left me such an inviting trail of destruction to follow. I see you found the relic then. Wonderful. Lord Diabolos will be so pleased. And look here, I've brought you a gift as thanks for all your hard work. This is the lovely lass you've been oh so desperately seeking, isn't it? Unless you wish to see her rent limb from limb, then you will hand over the Nullstone. You think I care about her worthless limbs? That one's done naught but cause us grief, and I just thought to crow over her grave. Don't give me that look, Radley. What? You thought I was here to save your sorry hide? You've never been aught but an obstacle to me. Do you remember the first time we met? You were roaring with laughter at the sight of all them Allegan relics until I used your pretty blonde head as a stepping stone. Damn you, you selfish bastard, and damn me for expecting you to act any different. If I had my weapons, I'd blow a bloody hole in your belly. Hey, you've forgotten how awful a shot you are? Not much of a threat when I've seen you miss the side of a cathedral at 10 yalms. Yeah, that's a pretty bad shot. Silence, you grinning fool. You've ruined my moment, and now I'll ruin your smirking face. Now. What? It burns! This world is not your stage, unholy harlequin. Be gone from our realm. But I know they added in a few new quests for the Edge Runners tie-in. A clever farce, mortals. But the show is not over. Not until you scream. The bugger got away. I think we'd best do the same. Yeah, I kind of was too, because it's like, although technically I'm kind of disappointed because in the initial trailer for the game, they kind of mentioned that you could be very body fluid and basically change every aspect of how you looked at pretty much any given time. And they didn't really deliver on that part. That was my one big gripe with Cyberpunk. But I mean, the only problem with showing V in Edge Runners is the fact then they'd actually have to make a canon model for V. And technically, there's two canon models for V. One is a male and one is a female. Now that was some excitement, wasn't it, Illusion? Probably a little too much for Radlia, but we gave her a bed to sleep off the worst of her ordeal. She'll likely be back to her usual cheerful self in no time. Quite a successful jaunt, all told. You and me, we make a pretty good partnership. It's also why no matter what, I'm going to be a little disappointed with the Mass Effect TV series that they're doing. Because, I mean, technically, canon, Shepard is a female. But from my understanding, they're going to be having Henry Cavill playing Shepard. But I've got words for you, Furball. You said that relic would obliterate Voidsent completely. Seems to me that foppish fiend just got scorched before he slipped away. Oh, that was scarcely a fraction of Nullstone's true power. Once I have learned how to unleash its full potential, such demons shall be consumed like gnats caught in a bonfire. So you're telling me our secret weapon ain't ready for battle? You might as well be yielding a blunted sword. Might I remind you that this blunted sword stung our foe sufficiently to free the Lady Pirate. A result we could not have achieved with your blustering words alone. Bah, I was ready to flee with how Bradley if things took a turn for the worse. But you're right, you had the presence mind to take advantage of my bluff, and it was your actions that saved her in the end. I mean, that's kind of the problem with any kind of RPG where you can go through and create your own character, and then they want to go through and make like a show adaptation of it, because it's just like, but what if then you're gonna make them look like not how I imagine the character to look? Leoford wishes for you to join him in his questing of Radlia. We might be waiting a while before Radlia finally decides to wake up, but not so long that you've got time to flit away on some other adventure. Come, join me in my quarters and we can ask her a few questions as soon as she's ready to talk. Yes, Shepard actually does have a cannon. It was announced as canon back during Mass Effect 2. And you are right. During the original Mass Effect, they had not declared what was canon. It wasn't until Mass Effect 2 and 3 where Shepard was canonized. Oh there, might as well make yourself comfortable while we wait on Radley. Besides, after fighting through them ruins, I'll wager you could use the rest. But them canonizing things is also why I'm not real happy with Mass Effect 4, because it's actually they've had to canonize a specific ending for Mass Effect 3. Where's the rest of my crew? Surely there were other survivors. Tell me, Radlia, what drove you to risk exploring old mhach? The compass sent you there? Aye, but you were after the Void Ark. You knew something, didn't you? So they say that all the, because they were doing all the advertising models and everything, were all that one specific version of Shepard. They said that was the canon model for Shepard. So, like, as Shepard, as you see them on the cover of the game, that is technically the canon model. And then the voice actress that voices Fem Shep is technically the canon voice for Shep. Tell me, Riley, what drove you to risk exploring old mhach? The compass sent you there, aye, but you were after the Void Ark. You knew something, didn't you? No, it's not. I think maybe on the first case, but not on 3. I don't think I can find... Let's see here. On ME3, it was both. Okay. But I know, like, a lot of the marketing and such was the FemShep, and that's the one they said was the canon version. But I mean, in essence, you can go through. I mean, they want you to go through and create your own Shepherd, but as far as BioWare is concerned, I found a book. We were looting these strange ruins in the Sea of Clouds, and one of the lads dug up a tome. It had passages that described the Void Ark and a powerful relic called the Null Stone. A tome scribed by a mhach sorcerer, mayhap. Captain, would you happen to know the author of this work? The words are muddled by obscuring magics, and 1,500 years have faded its pages. There is much that remains ineligible. Illegible. But what little my darling Cutthroats and I could decipher suggests it was written by a mage of exceptional status. See for yourself. If what the book says is true, the Ark is a source of immeasurable power. With that ship under my command and the mysteries of Mach in my possession, I had thought to crown myself Queen of the Skies. And look, well, how well that turned out. What manner of sky pirate, what manner of queen can't even keep her own crew alive? Rarely, is it not? Would I be correct in assuming that you seek revenge against the Void Sent who slaughtered your comrades? Of course I want revenge. The hellspawn shite gobbler killed my crew. If he were here right now, I'd gouge out his eyes and choke him to death with my bare, bloody hands. You are now alone in your desire to bring an end to these abominations. Captain, will you not join us in our endeavor to secure peace for the skies? Will you not join the Talon's strength to ours? What strength? The way things are right now, I doubt I could keep the peace in a monastery. This has not to do with personal grudges either. I just don't have the men. All my best fighters died in the ruins. And the dregs that are left are scarce, sharp enough to be called talons. Did you leave your spine back in the ruins, Radlia? You've had your wings clipped and no mistake, but that's no reason to give up the life. I thought we'd rescued a sky pirate, not some cur that turns tail when her pack ain't there to bite for her. I know what you're trying to do, Red Bill, but I've lost my taste for glory. You can have the curse book, just to be sure to make that bastard pay. But I mean, I'm not happy with BioWare at the moment anyways. Because, I mean, technically the entire reason they went to Andromeda was just so that they didn't have to set. You'll have to hear as I should go before you approve. Fair enough. I mean, I'm just going to do what I normally do with video game adaptations and just go, I'm not going to actually compare it against the game or book. I'm going to take it as its own entity, as its own entertainment piece, separate from anything else. But I'm angry with BioWare because technically they went to Andromeda to avoid setting a canon ending for Mass Effect 3, and they didn't want to go into the past of the Milky Way, because then they're stuck with already set in place lore where events are already fixed. So that's why they went to Andromeda, so they could avoid that entire thing. But here they are setting a canon ending to 3 and going back to the Milky Way. Hey, Furbo, how quickly do you think you can decipher that ratty old tome? I need to figure out exactly how your relic works. Aye, you sent that one, fiend squealing in fear, but that ain't enough from what you've told me. We'll need to aim for some sort of obliteration if we're going to take on the Shadow Queen. The rest of you, put everything you've got into what you do best, be that research or blade work. Overdoing it is doing it just right, if you get my meaning. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's the ending I usually took for Mass Effect 3 anyways, but it still kind of sucks that they're going through and setting a canon ending to it. I'll decorate my walls with void sent heads if I have to. The skies should belong to no one. But I mean, it's really not. Symbiosis is basically the Borg from uh, Star Trek. Now, if you could get the sides to live alongside each other without full simulation and all that, and individuality, sure, great, I'm all for that. But that's not what they were going for. So, I always chose destruction. Destroyed all the Reapers, destroyed all the Mass Effect gates. The Nullstone hath fallen into mortal hands. 1,000 apologies, Lord Diabolus. I shall personally wring each and every one of their scrawny necks. The time for skulking in shadows hath ended. I am grown weary of these meddling vermin. The power of the Shadow Queen waxeth full soon. Mine ardent desire shall pass from dream into dark reality. Um, no, not really. It basically it basically makes everyone on both sides cyborgs. I mean, yes, it gave synthetics more of an understanding, but the understanding came from basically they got organic parts as well. I mean, that that's technically what symbiosis would be, though. You're actually symbiosis is the AIs were controlling the mechanical parts of the bodies, whereas you controlled the biological. That would be symbiosis. You're basically both parasites of each other. One cannot live without the other. To remove one would be to die for both. No, not really. You are part of the AI that works you. You're not really individuals. Um, what's a better way to put it? Take the depression harpy in here. I mean, in a sense, they were individuals, but they all linked to a hive mind. Sussy has been searching for you at Katsith's behest. Katsith just sent me out to find you. You have a proper knack for showing up at just the right time, you know that? Anyway, Cat Sith cracked open that tome we got from Radlia, has been studying all the Nullstone's secrets. He thinks he may be into something important, not just concerning Diabolos and the Shadow Queen, but also the cat himself. Come back to the Parrot and we can all hear what he has to say together. I mean, I'm all for living amongst AI, but symbiosis or simulation of both is more of an individual choice and not one that I can go through and say, this is how everyone's going to live. I mean, to me, the only good outcome, because I mean, you still left synthetics if you destroyed the Mass Effect gates. So long as you cooperated with Legion and didn't destroy. No, at least my understanding of it was far more than that. Because from my understanding, it was basically symbiosis. Everyone basically, you cannot live without the equipment. You cannot live without AI controlling that equipment. Actually, well, yes, it could. It depended upon how you did Legion's quests, because it split the Geth. It would destroy any Geth that had joined with the Reapers, because they were actually actively linked to the Reapers. Whereas those that had fallen in with Legion were individualized, separated from basically that hive mind. But see, even then, that doesn't make sense, because the only way it could destroy a synthetic is any attached synthetic. It'd have no pull on any kind of synthetic not attached to its network. Not without destroying all technology everywhere, which it did not do. Not to mention, if I remember correctly, in the extended ending of Mass Effect 3, if you chose Destruction, EDI steps out of the crashed ship with Joker. EDI herself is a synthetic. You know what? I need confirmation to YouTube. Sounds good to me. And fair enough. As I suspected, this tome was penned by Maki sorcerer of superior standing, as well as detailing the methods by which the full power of the Nullstone might be unleashed. Its pages also contain a number of revelations concerning my master, High Void Mage Cessair. If these historians are to be trusted, then it seems that Cessair herself was responsible for summoning Diabolus. But I thought you said your master was opposed to supporting the war effort. Why would she be the one to call up that bat-winged monster? Cessair only agreed to the ritual as a means to bring the conflict to an early resolution. From what I can glean from these passages, Diabolus was intended as a bluff, a threat that was never to be exercised. But those arrogant imbeciles ignored my master's carefully laid restrictions, and were reluctant to unleash the fiend upon Amdapor. It was when Cessair moved to protest this act that she was branded a traitor and imprisoned. Once they had contained the opposition, the Void Mages studied all manner of otherworldly arts at the talon feet of their new pet. The most dangerous of which was the rite for summoning Skatok, and the method of chaining her power. Yet even after all they had perpetrated, these ambitious fools had the gall to come crawling to Cessair when the coming of the Great Floods was predicted. They begged her to take control of the Void Ark for the salvation of the Mhach people. As you saw for yourself, however, the energies of the Shadow Queen broke loose and turned the vessel into a derelict nest of void scent. It seems obvious now that the arts taught by Diabolus were deliberately flawed. The only saving grace in all this madness was when the damnable fiend was sealed away by the White Mages of Amdapor. I shudder to think what would have happened had he been reunited with his queen. So now, 1500 years later, Diabolus is looking to finish what he started. I thought the bat-faced bastard was just some opportunistic underling, but turns out that he's the main villain behind this whole mess. And Destroy is showing Edie on the dead wall. Were Cessair alive today, she would accept responsibility for unleashing Diabolus upon the world. As the High Void Mage is the familiar, it is my duty to act in her stead. I have deciphered the secrets of the Nullstone, and with its undiluted power shall I erase Diabolus from existence. I like your spirit, Puss, but try not to rush in too quickly, eh? Getting yourself killed won't do us or your master any good. Wait, no one's rushing in anywhere just yet, or have you forgotten that we're still in the middle of scouting out the fiend's lair? We've got the compass to go by, but who knows what kind of place it'll lead us to, or how many demons will be lying in wait when we get there. We fly in with our eyes open, or risk getting slaughtered just like the Talons. Oh yeah, speaking of which, the tome made a mention of a potential location for... Leoford. Ouch, behind you. He's behind you. Curse you, fiend. At long last. This is far from over, demon. We will not allow an abomination like the Shadow Queen to rule over the world. Then thou knowest not of ruling. It is might which decideth domination. But believe what thou mayest, frail creature. You are playthings. Your screams of denial shall amuse me as I send this rock and all upon it to shatter upon the ground below. Just watch synth ending and they are still being shown to be themselves still. God, is that Radlia? Where's she been hiding that ship? I would not tire my arm with the swatting of so many flies. The nullstone is mine, and there is yet much to be done. Well, well, ain't I a lucky sod? 2 demons in one day. Found some new dogs to lick your boots, Radlia? Is that any way to welcome me back to the life? You needed allies, and persuading our reluctant fellows to join in common purpose is a feat only a woman my charming beauty could accomplish. Besides, you look too injured to be of much use to anyone. You'd best take to your bed, old man, and let me and your champion there take care of the void scent. What, so you can tuck tail and run again? The first sign of trouble? You'd not even be standing there if it weren't for me. And even with me arm busted up, I'm still twice the pirate you are. Nay, I think you should stay behind this time, Leoford. We must pursue Diabolus without you. Time is of the essence, and we cannot afford to wait for you to heal. We must take advantage of Captain Radlia's reinforcements, and proceed with all haste. Did the demon drop you on your head, Furball? Without me there to run things, you just end up getting in the way, and no one's making haste anywhere until we know what they're flying into. Again, Captain Radlia, you may hold the answer to that dilemma. I suspect that the island where she uncovered the mhach tome is the very location where Diabolus has chosen to lair. Right now, from the looks of it, more like a DNA change, so it's not a separate egg controlling their tech. It's that they become something like biotech. I need them to confirm because either way, it's a cool thing to think about. Right now, I've got my playthrough of it from over a year ago rolling on YouTube as well, trying to see and confirm. Again, Captain Red may hold the answer to that dilemma. I suspect that the island where she uncovered the Maki Tome was the very location where Lady Diabolus has chosen to lair. This floating marvel I speak of is not a natural occurrence. It was constructed as a haven for refugees of the flood. The tome it makes very clear reference to the island's purpose and describes in detail the void-sent sorcery employed in its creation. As the void... As Void Ark never arrived at its destination, however, the island remained uninhabited. I can imagine no more suitable hideaway for our scheming fiend. Even better, Diabolus will not expect us to just suddenly arrive on his scheduled doorstep. The Talon fleet will carve us a path through the lesser fiends, and we shall strike swiftly into the heart of the confusion to seize the Nullstone. Once the relic is secured, I will use its power to obliterate our foolish foe. But also, scientifically, it doesn't make sense that's how that would work out. Because the only way I'd be able to destroy all synthetics, even ones that are not directly connected to the Reaper network, would be to destroy all technology, meaning all record systems. They generally didn't believe in paper books. So, I mean, basically everything, you're resetting all the civilizations across the galaxy back to zero, in essence. Hey, Nath Dog. Well, I mean, Mass Effect doesn't really have space magic. It's not magic. It's very specific technology. And I mean, it has very specific science of how it would operate. I mean, basically how the explosion of the Mass Effect gates would work would be basically you're creating an explosion and it's releasing energy, but that energy would not be specific to AIs. It would be specific to technology. But yes, you are right. You're fine. I mean, it's great when you show up. And, I mean, I understand people have their own schedules and everything, so it's like, show up when you want, leave when you want. Either way, I'm happy you swung by. As a Sky Pirate, you surely understand how such an assault relies on speed and surprise. We cannot have a wounded companion slow us down and potentially doom the entire Enterprise. So you think you're in charge now, do you? Poor broken Leoford's just some dead weight we need to cut away. You know what? I've had a belly full of your mule in any case. Go on, fly off without me, and see how far you get with your thrice-damned Enterprise. Captain Relia, compare the direction indicated by the ectocompass with your navigational records, if you please. I think we'll find the coordinates coincide with the island in question. Yes, I am. Since people are actually joining me more of late in there, I've decided that I'm just, as soon as I start streaming, I'm going to try and remind myself to jump in Discord chat, and if anyone wants to jump in and chat with me, they're more than welcome to. Certainly, and feel free to board our flagship when you're set to depart. My darling's large enough to accommodate your adventurer and our fellows with room to spare. Little trouble repairing it. I seriously doubt that. I mean, you're talking at the level of technology they're at with everything. Because basically, as far as I can tell, all basically electronics would be destroyed. So basically, they're being hit with a giant EMP across the board. So I mean, that would basically fry the batteries of everything. Power grids would be wrecked. Um, so it's not as easily repaired as.
Yeah, I get you, but I mean that's what I'm literally looking at the thing. Technology you rely on will be affected, but those who survive should have little difficulty repairing the damage. It's literally what it says.
I get you. I'm just going like looking at it from an actual logical perspective. You're talking probably a couple hundred years just to get back to where they were.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that you've basically broken apart all the different planets because they no longer have the Mass Effect gates to travel back and forth.
Right.
And no one even understood how they worked to begin with.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I guess that's just their plot hole at that point then.
Yeah, that's the best I can come up with.
I mean, it's either that or say, don't worry, your technology will be fine. The Reaper Destruction Blast has some magical sciencey stuff that will only target things that have a specific line of code that makes them AI. You know?
Which I mean, that you'd still end up having some that would survive just from the fact of shielded signals, because you're basically what you're doing at that point is an automatic download across a wideband spectrum of basically Wi-Fi across the entire galaxy, which not necessarily all would actually receive.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only two endings that don't have a hole in them really are the destroy and not the destroy the control that has a bit but not as much, and the I stood there and did nothing and everyone died. I found that one out by accident.
I never did that one.
I didn't know it was a thing. I remember when 3 first came out. That's the first ending I got. Because I was like, nope, that doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound good. Really? Let me go. Oh, I chose the 4th option by accident. Oops.
But sometimes those little hidden endings of I took too long to do something is rather interesting.
Oh yeah, I was really not expecting my choice of I don't like that one yet. Give me time to think on saying that to all 3 would go. Nah, screw you then. Everything go boom.
But I mean, I didn't really pay as much attention to the exact wording and paid more attention to the more logical, here's how this works and looks to work.
That's an issue we all get into when discussing things like what's that thing called? Versus or whatever? Where they do like 2 heroes or whatever versus each other. Death Battle.
There's a couple. Death Battle's the one I like the most. Yeah. Because they really go more into the science of it than anything.
Half-assed science from what I watch a lot of times, because I'm just like, I've seen sometimes they'll show numbers and then they'll show different numbers for the same thing and then say this works somehow. And also they don't take into account everything like, oh, TNT, this magical demon Digimon ice there's no way it could be stronger than naturally formed ice. There's no way that happens.
Well, and here's the thing also, which version of ice, because in our actual reality, there are multiple forms of ice.
Oh yeah, they were talking about blue ice or whatever it is.
And I mean, depending upon what kind of ice, and that for them, it gets math can get really wonky because
Yeah.
and that's why it's like they have to try and take in, like, what was it? The most recent death battle was a specific version of Trunks versus Silver the Hedgehog. It's
Oh,
like
how'd that end up?
Silver the Hedgehog won.
Huh.
But it's like
Which
they
version of Trunks?
the
Was it
uh
Dragon Ball Super version?
no Xenosaga is some like video game version.
Oh, the time traveling one.
Yes.
Okay, him I could see losing. Yeah.
Um,
Because
although
he only has
apparently
Super Saiyan 2. But
there's,
even then, it's like, I don't know.
according to the
I
lore,
mean,
there's some close tie-ins to at least where he's had lived like a variation of the Dragon Ball Black storyline. I don't know. I'm not very into Dragon Ball.
I'm
To
not that much either. I just watch it for the fights.
I can't even do that. The fights on it take so goddamn long
Oh yeah,
just to
that's
make a
why
single move.
oh yeah, like I don't watch the full fights. I just watch like the fight sequences here and there are
Yeah,
fun. Because I
that's
mean, after like after Z was already losing the plot, but after Z, they've just thrown out all their own story, really, too.
yeah, pretty much.
I mean, they went from, I mean, like, after Cell, Goku and Gohan were supposed to just be in Super Saiyan forever. Because it doesn't take them any energy. And hell, Toriyama forgot that, thought Super Saiyan 3 was Super Saiyan 2. Or
Well,
something like that. So it's
be-
just like,
occasionally
and the
writing
whole,
myself, it's kind of like,
and
we
yeah,
forget things.
and it's also all the growth of the some characters was just like Goku was still dumb for some stuff, but like at the end of the Buu saga, he had like you saw like a good maturing of him
Yeah.
and thoughts and all that. And then the start of Super, he's like, "Dang, I'm gonna do anything for a fight, fighty fight. I don't care if I blow up the earth."
Well, I mean, he has that ability.
And I'm just like, keeping him wanting to fight is one thing, but at the end of Boo, he understood that his power and all that, and his wants for just fights with stronger people was a threat to the Earth. And then the second he hears Beerus, he's like, "I don't care that he can blow up the Earth in a second. I'm gonna pick a fight with him and piss him off." It's like, so where's the growth?
The whole character growth of that series is him just getting stronger.
Yeah, I mean that's always been a thing, but Super went from, but Z had some character growth for him, and they just threw it out, and I don't like that.
I mean, that's why personally, when it comes to those super long animes, I am much more a fan of Bleach than I am most of the rest.
Yeah.
Then again, I haven't really watched I've watched like a couple episodes here and there of Naruto, and they were nowhere near each other, so I have no idea what was going on in any of them.
Is Nine in the chat? I hope she's not, because she'll kill me. Naruto, the story is mostly bloat and nonsensical bullshit for even an anime. It's just some of the fights are fun, but for the most part, Naruto's trash.
And then basically for me, the same thing with One Piece is I've seen like 3 or 4 episodes, but they were again nowhere near each other, so I've got no idea what's going on in that either.
Yeah.
And
One Piece, the story is a lot more coherent and a lot less fillery, but even the fillers like make sense for some character growth if you feel, but there's not as much like you can see, I don't know how to describe it, but it's something where you really have to be able to either push through the start to get to a point that grabs you, or just get grabbed early on after watching it straight, which is
Yeah.
hard.
No, I usually
But
sit down and binge watch things, so it's like,
but well, here's another thing. One Piece, except for, of course, sometimes you need a new power for an arc, so there's always going to be that plot hole of why wasn't this used before or thought of before,
yeah.
which is one of those um disbelief windows that you gotta sit with in some things. But otherwise, most of the stuff that happens in One Piece is foreshadowed or shown a bit. There's nowhere near as much as in Naruto is, where it's just I pull something out of my ass and it happens. Most of it's more cohesive, and characters. There's a lot more characters that you see going on and doing other things. Like Naruto has like its main cast, and then once they grab a couple characters here and there, that's it, and you don't really hear anything about anyone else from the past.
That's also like the character growth and not pulling things out of their ass is one of the reasons why like one of my favorite animes is Black Lagoon.
Oh, Lagoon! I want to see the rest of that animated. I hope they make more.
Well, I mean, the entire reason it stopped getting animated was because the author is just so slow
Yeah.
at producing material that they ran out of material and were basically just like, okay, well, when you finally get enough done for us to do more, we'll do more. Till then, okay.
You know what the great thing that also shows respect to the writer, because if it was Naruto, they would just make 200 more episodes of filler.
Yeah. But I mean,
In these next 10 episodes, Naruto learns how to butt chug ramen.
but I mean, I think he just finally came out with like what, issue 14 of the manga or something like that. So, and I mean, he's not done. He's just, it takes him years just to do one chapter.
Yeah. Which, hey, if people want to wait for that, and yeah.
I don't know. I just really love seeing the Rock Remy romance in that because it's so interesting.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's usually those two roles are reversed. It's usually the woman in Rock's role and Rock's in Remy's.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how would you do? Like, I just always saw her as a bit of a tsundere.
A bit of a who?
Tsundere, where she's not good at showing her emotions.
Oh no, she is most definitely not good at showing her emotions.
Yeah.
She's only, and you see that when they do the episode where they go to Japan and they're doing the whole, they go to the little festival together,
Yeah,
and she actually dresses up. That absolutely boggled my mind when I saw that.
Right.
But, I mean, she has only ever truly come from when she's in a gunfight.
Yeah. I also liked how they somehow made the Roanapura realistic gang island. Like, it felt like it could exist.
Yeah, it did. They made it feel lived in.
Yeah. But not just living, like, it made, like, you saw how the gangs were at odds with each other, but they weren't just shooting themselves in the street because it was controlled to a degree.
Well,
for a criminal-ridden, gun-ridden gang area.
I mean, they kind of explained why that was, is because it's like, yeah, you had all these small gangs, but then you had the true powerhouses, like Bella Lyka's organization.
The hierarchy is like, what's it called? When Revi and What's the blonde nun's name? I forget.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
When they were drinking in the church and someone shot that tan blonde girl that ran in, the hacker,
Yeah.
and they shot their glass, and still Revi and her didn't shoot the people because of the power balance, but they still scared the crap out of them. So it's like you won't mess with us, but we also won't ruin the balance and bring the higher ups down on our heads over your bilge just because of your bullshit.
Although
So,
I think Revi was good enough to where she could have taken Bella, or at least it would have been down to a bloody stalemate.
oh, I think so, but that's just Revi Bella. Bella has her whole damn. I mean, shit. When that kid came after her, she had the sniper blocks away, just shoot the legs off. And I was just like, oh,
Yeah, but Bella, it seemed very much like when she gets into a gunfight, it's just her and whoever.
yeah.
If she's that pissed that she's pulled out the firearm, the rest of the crew's going, we're 7 back, we're staying out of the
Oh yeah.
way. Because it's basically like a nuclear bomb going off, is what
Yeah.
it was made to seem like.
But it's also like I don't think there's many situations where Revi would go against her because, like, fully against her because they're close enough. It seemed.
Yeah, it
Doesn't
seemed more like
doesn't
it'd
she
be one of
call
those
Bella
things
like
of,
sis or something? I
no,
think.
she. I think they're kind of friends, but it's one of those things that they both kind of recognize that if. Because what was it? Bella is part of the Russian mafia, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
That if she got told to do it, she would bring Revi down, or at least try to. But it's like they kind of have like a respect for each other.
Yeah. Revi calls Bella like a sis. So
My fault. I
I just
must not have been paying enough attention.
yeah,
Nah.
I just looked it up. It's Bella is also one of the few people to earn the respect of Revi. So yeah. I follow a TikToker that does them a little lagoon skits.
Yeah, like I said, like I've told other people, I just cannot get into TikTok. Everything's just too short for me.
Fair. I like it because like it's good for work. When it's like I just need something to pass 5 minutes while I wait for something to happen. So I can just scroll through, get a few laughs, and then get back to what I'm doing once the material or whatever gets there.
Yeah.
It's not something I can sit at home and just scroll for hours. That's too much. I need more substance.
See, for me, I do better with watching like a minute or 2 minutes of an actual show and pausing it to do something than I am with watching just 1 minute of whatever.
Oh, I will get caught up and just not stop for too long. Or then I'll forget and then I'll have to rewind or watch the same thing 20 times. So that's just me.
But yeah, it's there's always stuff that I always miss in everything I watch, or little details that
Yeah.
come on, Q Pop.
Ooh, rare upgrade components. Nice. Yeah.
What you
I'm going
playing?
through Cyberpunk again.
Ah.
I'm doing it on the hardest difficulty.
Oh. Have fun with that.
Oh, I am actually. It's like I like it because my deaths aren't BS when I die because it's hard, and I actually have to be tactical about some stuff. But fair note, the charged shotgun when you're in level range is your best friend because that knockdown is just great.
I don't know. I hate playing things at their highest difficulty setting. I don't know. It just removes too much of the fun out of it for me.
Or it depends on how the difficulty's hard, you know? Like, if it's just something like, oh, we made it so this thing's just gonna one shot you for no reason, then no, that's not fun. If you make it where I can still do a bunch of different things, but some ways of doing it are easier or cooler, then that's cool. Like, I'm still able to, like, even though it's the hardest difficulty, the only thing I can't do yet is just stand out in the open and shoot people. But for the most part, I can still gun blaze and all that.
See, me, usually when it comes to shooters like that, I very much just like going through and just walking right down the middle of the aisle and just shooting everything.
Fair
Either
enough.
that or I'm just going to be super sneaky and just sneak up behind everything and knock everything out.
Yeah.
Until that fails, and then I go back to, well, just shoot everything that moves.
I mean, that's what I've been doing. It's just, I can't just stand there and not care about getting hit.
Nah, I'll sit there like the juggernaut and just go, here I am. What are you going to do about it? I mean, don't get me wrong. I can do things, and in ways that's not that. It's just, do I want to put in the time, effort, frustration, and stress to do it? Which usually the answer is no.
Fair enough.
Uh, like there for a bit, I was trying to go through all of Halo 3 on Legendary solo, and it's just like, and I just had more and more stuff piling up on my plate. It's just like, okay, I don't have time for this. So it's like I got a little bit over, I think, halfway doing Legendary. It's like I just don't have time. We're done with this. We're just going to turn the difficulty down and finish out the rest of the game. But I mean, I also don't generally. It's like I don't mind difficult games that are difficult to play, but it's.
I mean, I guess it's just also me because, like, I can sit in front of a Dark Souls boss that I'm having trouble with for like 2 hours straight and still be having fun.
See, I can do that with Bloodborne, but not Sekiro.
Mm.
So for when it comes to like Soulsborne type games, I'm very particular about the way the combat works and
Yeah.
the aesthetic
That
that's
might be
going
with me
on.
too.
So it's like the way Sekiro worked, not as much fun.
Right, because it's all about the parries and all that, right? I never got to play Sekiro.
It's also with like Dark Souls and Bloodborne, you can actually, I mean, you have to do it a lot, but you can actually level up and give yourself at least a little more chance.
More of an
Sekiro,
edge. You can, to a degree, just boost your weapon.
you can't boost your weapon, you can't boost your health or any of that. There's no stats. It's all skills and items you get from boss kills.
Yeah.
So that makes it a whole nother difficulty of hard. Right now I'm stuck on getting my second ending of Sekiro, but I'm stuck on an optional boss that I've dropped a couple hours into so far. And unfortunately, It used to be an item that you could use and just spam stun the boss and beat him pretty easily. They patched it out so it doesn't work that way. It only stuns him 3 times now, and he has 3 bars. That you have to beat your way through. I've gotten as far as getting him down to his final bar, but he just deals too much damage too quickly and too wide a range.
Fair enough.
I should probably go back and someday I'll probably go back and stream that some more and see about getting through that fight, but I've at least gotten one ending in Sekiro, so I'm happy.
Nice.
As far as I'm concerned, I've beaten the game.
Finally, the last level up I needed. For now.
I mean, granted, it was a bad ending, and it skips like half the bosses, but
Yeah.
it is an ending.
Yeah.
But Bloodborne, I've played through that in full twice now. Used a bit of a trick using the PSN network to get all 3 endings though off my first playthrough, so I could platinum that game. But there's only one boss on that game that I absolutely will not go back and refight.
That is
The Cursed and Defiled Amygdala in the Chalice Dungeons.
Ooh. Yeah.
I'll go fight any other boss in the game. I am not fighting that one ever again. Because it's a Cursed and Defiled dungeon, so his health and damage is doubled, your health is halved, and your damage is halved.
So that's pretty much him having quadruple damage in health.
Correct.
Oh. I think got a level 14.
And
now I can run around with a sniper.
So it was. I probably spent a good 7 or 8 hours trying to do that because I really wanted to platinum that game.
Yeah.
And
I get that.
you have to beat him in order to unlock the Queen of Yarnum boss fight.
I think besides Elden Ring, which is just a time thing, I couldn't really get into Bloodborne. It looked nice, but just style of combat wasn't me.
See, I love the combat Bloodborne. It was all speed based.
Yeah.
Which that's usually a lot of what I do in a lot of games is I am usually a very quick reaction plays.
I mean, that's kind of how I play Elden Ring. I don't know what it is exactly about the specifics of Bloodborne that just doesn't do it for me. Because if you watch me play Bloodborne and then watch me play Elden Ring, the playstyle I use is the same. Like just quick dodge and hit and all stuff like that. But for some reason in Bloodborne, it just doesn't feel right.
See, the biggest problem I have is most people decide that they're either going to do they either try starting out with the sword cane, which that you need to be a really advanced player to try and use that in the first place,
Mm-hmm.
or they go with the the axe.
Ah,
And try and do spin to win, because that's doing the really big weapon is all what like Dark Souls is, and
yeah.
I mean, yeah, the axe will do you fine against most of the just general rabble
Yeah.
that's all around, but it's way too slow for a lot of the bosses, and so the
Yeah.
bosses will just tear you apart.
Oh yeah.
Or
I had the axe on my playthrough. I don't have that file anymore. I don't think on my PS4. But for bosses, yeah, I didn't use it because I was like, that's too slow for how these bosses work. And I like the speed on the other weapons. It's just there's something about like I can't pinpoint what it is.
eh,
I just Bloodborne. Just there's something about it that I can't exactly pinpoint because if I look at my gameplay in Bloodborne
mm-hmm.
versus any other Souls game, it looks near identical. But just Bloodborne makes me go, eh,
It's probably more the aesthetic than anything else.
maybe. But it's like I like the way the stuff looks. It's like things don't even look bad to me. So I don't know.
Because I mean, with Dark Souls, you're in a world that's in entropy. It's dying.
Mm.
That's not really the case with Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Bloodborne people are just, well, sick.
Yeah.
But then again, you've got a church that's administering eldritch blood as medicine to people, so yeah. No wonder that everyone's turning into monsters. And
Yeah.
but I've been reading the comics for Bloodborne whenever a new issue comes out. They're all very interesting. Although technically there's the actual real world, there's the dream world, there's the other dream world, and then there's the Chalice world.
Hmm. Yeah. I think the farthest I got is that first time you have someone with a Gatling gun on the roof.
Oh, so that's not too terribly far at all.
Yeah, I couldn't get past that. Like I got to the I could physically get past the guy. I killed him and all that. But
Yeah.
just like play wise, I was just like that was where I got to twice in runs because like the first time I stopped and then the second time I got to it again because I was like I don't know where I am. But then it's just like I put it down again. I'm just like I don't feel like booting it up. I just meh.
Now, a question I have for you. Did you beat him legitimately, or did you just kick him off the edge?
I can kick him off the edge.
Oh yeah, you can either kick him off the edge or trick him to walk himself off the edge.
No, I parried him a bunch. I survived with 1 HP pretty much.
Oh,
No.
every time I've beaten him, I've either tricked him on jumping himself off the ledge, or I've pushed him off the ledge.
Well, if I ever do play it again, I'm gonna push him off the edge.
The only problem with that method is you then have to go back to get the chain gun. Because it won't show up until after you've rested and come at a lantern and come back.
Yeah.
But at that point, it's pretty easy because he's gone.
Yeah. I mean, shouldn't it just appear if I reload? That's how the other Souls games work.
I don't know. I've never done that. I've always just gone back to a lantern and gone back.
Hmm. Probably a reload would work too, because that's how all the other Souls games work with their items. They load at the last 10 seconds or whatever.
But it's Bloodborne was interesting. I'm really hoping for more Bloodborne games. I've played like a couple hours of Dark Souls. I've not played Elden Ring at all just because I don't even own it.
Yeah. Dark Souls is, if it wasn't your first one, it's harder to get into. Just because compared to all the other games, it, I wouldn't call it clunkier, but it's not as fast paced.
Yeah.
Like I went back after playing Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3 and I was like, God, I feel so slow, even though I'm fast rolling. Like enemies I used to have no problem with. I was just, my mind was on the timing of Elden Ring, and I'm just like dying because of it.
The nice thing about me is the fact that it's been so long since I played Bloodborne, that I don't have any of that really.
Yeah.
Because I think it's been what, year and a half since I played Bloodborne. What does YouTube say? July 31st, 2021 was when my last Bloodborne video came out, so yeah, it's been over a year. But I mean, usually at least the couple hours I played of Dark Souls 3, the only boss that really gave me any real trouble was the very first one in basically the tutorial.
Oh, the infected Gundyr?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yep. He's the only one who gave me any real problem.
That makes sense because depending on what class you started with, he was harder or easier.
I went with melee build.
Which melee?
Um,
Because there was this knight, the spearman.
it had 2 swords.
Ah, yeah, that one would definitely be hard. Because you didn't have as much armor as a knight did, and those weapons at lower level would be also much weaker than a normal longsword.
Yeah.
Plus, if you're using 2 swords for the double thing, you're using a lot more stamina.
I mean, I eventually beat it, but it was...
Yeah. I would call that, in my opinion, the hardest tutorial boss that there's been. Not the hardest, like, first boss, but the hardest tutorial one, just because if you're, like, I mean, if you chose Pyromancer, it was cake, but because you wait a couple seconds after a fireball, like you fireball, it like flops around in pain so you can slash at it, and then you wait a bit till it's like fully healed, and not healed I mean like the debuff's gone or whatever, and just do it again.
From my understanding, magic users were kind of overpowered in Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3.
Let's see. In 1, once dark magic came out, they became really overpowered. In PvP, anyway. In PvE, yeah. Magic's always been, magic is the easy mode. Once you have your spells. Magic is a harder start. Because your spells are limited, your mana's limited, or uses in Dark Souls 1.
Yeah.
But it's like, in Elden Ring, once you have that Kamehameha wave spell, you're just melting bosses and all that, you know, so Like you're able to melt them while they're doing their startup, and then by the time they really start coming at you, they're dead.
Well, it's and that would be another thing is in Bloodborne, there's not really any effective magic
Yeah.
whatsoever.
I mean, I've never been a big on magic builds person. Like in 3, the most I did magic-ish. Like, uh, well, when Dark Souls 3 came out, the frickin' long swords were the most powerful weapons in the game, just because how stagger worked. Almost like 95% of enemies in the game, as long as you were hitting them, were staggered. So I just gave myself enough faith and int so I could get all the buffs for the weapons, and plus a dark sword, which you could get early on, which was the strongest longsword. Just I zoomed.
I mean, one of these days, if like my bit/donation goal ever gets met, I'll play Elden Ring. I'll buy Elden Ring to play it, but I've already got.
Yeah.
I think I already own all the rest of the Dark Souls, Demon Souls, and all those. It's just a matter of actually getting around to them. Should probably also someday finally get around to finishing up Neo too. As I started that like 2 years ago, or I did like 2 streams of it 2 years ago, and I've not had the time to go back. Too many games come out too quickly. They're all way too good.
Yeah. Why is my sniper hitting this guy?
It's just like got a bunch of games coming out next month. And then I can't believe I've waited over half an hour in queue for this instance, and I'm a tank.
Which instance? Oh, the end of
Dunscape.
that's the last of the Void Arc ones, right?
Yep.
Yeah, no one really does those, and they haven't fixed the issue of people de-gearing to get Crystal Tower for quick runs.
It's like I need to do that so I can get this quest complete, so then I can actually go do another quest. Because there's an optional a side quest I want to go do, but you have to have completed the entire Void Arc series to do it.
Yeah, I had the same issue with Hildebrand.
Oh, I figured at least since the first 8-man instance, I could just go through and unsync the damn thing and just ram through it. So that's what I did.
Did it work out?
Oh yeah, I went in as a level 90 Reaper. Gilgamesh did not have a good time. I mean, other than slow me down by turning me into a frog, he really didn't accomplish anything.
This mother. There you go, you fucker.
But I didn't realize
Oh.
people were able to de-gear themselves to try and get to
Yeah, you
specific
just take
things.
gear off. You don't have to have a full set of armor on to get into a queue. You just have to meet the eye level requirements.
I didn't think
So
it.
if like,
I didn't think it
yeah,
measured that at all. I figured it just went off your level and went, what instances do you have available to you?
it technically does, but it won't queue you into something you don't have the eye level for. You know.
Mm.
So. So yeah. So a lot of people like strip everything down so they're just like eye level 50. So they'll only get the towers.
That's dumb.
Yeah. I mean, and it's an easy fix too. If they wanted to fix it, just make it so you have to have the eye level to at least get into what your level can get into, which is not hard to do.
Well, actually,
And you
what
have
I
to,
would do it is, it
and
wouldn't
you have
even
to have
look
a
at your
full
eye
map.
level at all. If you have it available for whatever level you're queuing in as, then that's where you're going.
I was like, make it so you have to have a full set of gear on after a certain level.
I mean, at that point, you just buy lower level gear.
Yeah. Oh, I meant you still need to have the eye level, you know, somewhat appropriate level gear. Ooh, an LMG, nice. Alright, first up, let's stronger shotgun.
Like I said, the better way is to just go. If you're going queue in as this level, everything that you've unlocked is going to be available. If you don't have the eye level, or you don't want to do it because you don't want to put on that gear, tough luck.
Yeah. But I mean, that kind of hurts because then it's like, what if they drop into a level 80, like a E6S all of a sudden, and they're the tank, but they had the gear on of eye level 50? They're not gonna be able to hold the boss.
I'm not even sure how they'd get into E6S just through Duty Finder.
If you queue raids.
Do what?
Not E6S, just E6, I mean. Just normal, not Savage, right? The S is Savage. It's just a habit there. But yeah, the Edens are on the normal raid roster now.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're on a level 90 tank, you at least have the base gear.
Yeah. But I'm saying if you don't make it so you have to have a certain eye level.
As far as I'm going, it shouldn't even
Yeah.
look at the eye level. If you're queuing in as this, as whatever level. So say you go in as a level 80 tank, anything you
Yeah.
have unlocked for that queue is what can
I
be
guess.
randomly chosen.
Yeah, I guess that'll work because then after a week or so, people will stop trying to have a under queue with eye level and they'll just realize it doesn't work.
And not only that, but then you're only going to queue in. People are only going to queue in with things that they've got the eye level for whatever they may get.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want to. No, I'm not.
Because otherwise, they're going to get accused of being a troll, get kicked, and reported.
Yeah. Right. Can't put on new pants. They suck. new pants with higher armor, but they don't increase my carry weight like my other ones do.
I forgot that that had carry weight in it.
Yeah. And the pants I have on increase it by 20, which is a decent chunk. Let's see, can scrap that. Scrap that. That. I just wish there was a glove slot. Because, like, some gloves would really finish some of the glam you can do in this.
There's a hand slot, but it's for
Chrome.
Yeah.
It's for your chrome. Ooh, I can destroy all these knives because I am not using a knife ever. Nor am I using bats. I use hammers and katanas.
I used the katana once during the game. It was like, okay, that's good enough for me. I tried it out.
Yeah. I just keep it on me in case I need some either heavier hitting or some speed hitting when I run out of ammo if it's a large fight.
See, I never ran out of ammo.
I mean, I did when I forgot to re-up.
Oh, see, I must play way too much tabletop Shadowrun back in the day. I never go anywhere without ammo in that game.
Yeah. Also, depending on the gun I was using, I'm not always the best shot with it. So it's like if you miss a bunch, and you can't craft more ammo during a fight. So
Yeah.
there we go. Let's see. Might need to just craft some stuff over and over to raise my crafting level. So I can make epic weapons. It's sweet that Pan Am thinks that one of, if not the best, biggest fixture that's been around for 50 years is like, oh no, I hope that Pan Am will deliver my stuff now that she got it back. And then just gets, oh yeah, dumbass, I already got my money. I just get paid for setting up the job. At the end, it doesn't matter if you get it there or not.
Yeah. I mean, fixers in either Shadowrun or Cyberpunk worlds can be kind of odd folk. It's rare you'll find one who'll ever actually do you right.
Yeah. The odd thing is, Rogue is one of the few normal people in the game.
Well, I mean, when you think about it,
Compared to everyone, yeah.
in that world, she's the oddball.
Right. Yeah.
And by comparing them to our world, they're normal, but in their own, they're the oddballs.
Oh yeah. but that's part of how she got her seat of power. Yes, I know, you stupid phone. I don't have iCloud storage space. I don't use iCloud purposely. Yeah. Now I can get one of the coolest cars in one of, if not the coolest car in the game.
Which
For
one's
free.
that?
Which start did you do?
I did the Corpo start.
No. Um, there's only 4 of them canonically in Night City. I forget the name of it. Let me see if I can pick up the picture. Pictures. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like the Corpo start to the...
Oh, the corporal start's cool. No, that's what I'm doing right now. But yeah, once I pick it up, I'll tell you the name because it'll say.
Okay,
But,
sounds good.
Yeah, it's like a brand new model. If you choose the Street Kid version, you get to see the car at the start.
Yeah,
got-
the Street Kid start just didn't sound fun to me.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I prefer it over the other 2. It feels more natural. If that's the right word. Like, let's see, Nomad, you drive for 2 minutes and you're at the end. Corpo gives you a little more, backing into the game. But Street Kid really makes you feel like you've really been part of Night City for a while.
I mean, Corpo to me just kind of was a lot closer to like a lot of the characters I'd played in tabletop for Shadowrun, so which is why I went with that.
Oh yeah. Alright, let's see if I can.
Usually, it was doing such a start was usually at least a little bit better on Shadowrun because it gave you a few more contacts you could utilize and rely on.
Here. Yeah. I mean, it was nice that like Corpo, you knew Jackie at the start and all that. That was a nice touch.
Yeah.
Street Kid, you still meet Jackie separately, but it felt more organic than of becoming friends and all that than just, oh, I bet you doing a delivery. Let's do this.
Well, I mean, that is actually to me a fairly organic form. Because, I mean, working a job together or across from each other would be a good way to get a measure of the other person.
Yeah, but one job to all of a sudden move into your mom's house with each other felt a bit forced. mean, at least in the Street Kid when it happens, when you meet Jackie during the job, well, he's a opposing person trying to steal it. You already know his mom and all that because you went to the bar.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, I know about you. You and my mom are chill. So that makes sense. In the Nomad, it's just, oh, we did one job together. Hey, come to my mom's place, even though I barely know you. I mean, I will say at least it wasn't completely unreasonable. Mm. It's not like he brought in someone that delivered pizza one time to his house. I'll be right back.
Okay. Duh. Okay. Whoa.
And I'm back. And you know what I just realized with all our Mass Effect talk before?
What?
Besides the control ending, which I don't think does anything to the mass relays, I don't remember. How many planets were just annihilated because of the explosion of the mass relays?
Well, I mean, if you
Remember,
play
that's why
through
you're.
the if you play
Remember,
through the
yeah.
DLC on one DLC on 2, it takes out the entire solar system.
Oh yeah. And then, and how are they rebuilding Earth?
So, from my understanding, it's not destroying them the way that, and as destructive of a manner as
Oh, I saw
what
that's supposed
happened
to be his
there.
chain reaction.
So,
That makes sense then.
and where that actually exploded, this is more of a dismantling.
Yeah. But you still had that giant explosive pulse, so
My
I
and
assume any
that's
planets right next to it got destroyed.
Well, my guess is looking at and watching that that's not really so much an explosion, so much as in kind of like in a shockwave, an
Yeah,
EMP shockwave,
yeah,
which, like I said, would be the only explanation for why it would take out all synthetic life and technology. It just
yeah,
their timeline for trying to get repaired is just far, where their wording is far quicker than what it'd actually be.
yeah.
I mean, for with the lifespan of say uh, an Asari or Krogan, yeah, sure, that's a short amount. It'd be a short amount of time, relatively, because they have 1,000 to 1,200 year lifespans.
Mhm.
But for like what was it, Mordant's people?
Oh yeah, more of these people would probably go through a few generations.
Yeah, I mean their lifespan's only like 40 years or 50 years.
Yeah, but
So
50 is like super old for them. Yeah,
yeah, I think like the average age for them was like 34.
34 to 40, I believe. Yeah, that's why they had all those what's it called, pedigree lists.
Yeah. So, and for humans, it'd just kind of be like, generation or two. But it's just like, you're looking at probably 100, 200 years of for recovery here. But I mean, they are saying that at least Mass Effect 4 is like 1,000 years past the events of.
Mhm. Yeah,
So I mean, about the only people that you can expect to actually see alive would be uh, Grunt,
Rex, Liara, Grunt,
Grunt, or Rex. Not so much because I think he's already like 700.
right?
So I'd actually more predict he's probably dead.
True.
But
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Grunt, Liara, um, Morinth will probably die or be dead by
And
that point.
she's already near her matron stage,
Yeah,
or in it.
she's in it.
Yeah.
Um, you might see if they make canon that one of her daughters lived, you might see one of them.
Yeah.
But you know, you're not gonna see too much of the original cast.
Yeah. Oh, might see Shepard's kid if they make it Liara the romance.
Maybe, though, from the sounds of it, it sounded like they were somehow bringing Shepard back.
Which I guess cloning.
Well, I mean, technically, if you had the right ending, Shepard did survive. What they could possibly do is sort of like a frozen and they found you and thawed you out kind of thing.
Or they found you after the fight, but you're so badly damaged that they had to slowly repair you over 1,000 years again.
Yeah.
Something would have been fun to bring your clone on as a crewmate.
I definitely did not want to bring Shepard's clone on as a crewmate. That person was just way too evil.
Mm-hmm.
Just way, way too evil.
Yeah. I was watching someone else on a Beat 3, and even through all my playthroughs, I never knew this could happen. The girl that works with the clone, I didn't know she could survive.
Yeah.
All the choices I've talked to her with each time over the last 15-ish no, 10-ish years, I think it is, yeah, for 3. Either I shoot her or as she tries to run away, one of the crew shoots her.
I mean, it's one of those things that was like, I knew it was possible because it's like you have to do, there's like a whole bunch of things you have to do a particular way,
Yeah.
but it is like a possibility. But usually, more likely than not, she's going to die.
Yeah.
It's one of those things of, if you do all these things perfectly, here's your result. If you just kind of half-ass it like you're probably going to do,
Well, to be fair, also, I never truly, really did try to save her because fuck that bitch. I mean, out of all the times she's been killed in my playthroughs because of stuff, I think I've beaten ME3 30 times, so I'd say 25 of those kills of hers are from me doing it on purpose.
I've not played through any game that many times.
I've done it to all 3 games, at least 30. Mass Effect 1 and 2 more, just because they were out longer.
I've played through Mass Effect 1 twice. I think I'm at 4 playthroughs on 2 and 3 playthroughs on Mass Effect 3. And then I played through Andromeda twice. Or no, 3 times on Andromeda.
Andromeda still have to beat. Yeah. But yeah, when 3 came out, I replayed the whole series a crap ton just to see a bunch of stuff. And then I've played the whole series every year at least once.
Well, I played Mass Effect 2, and at the time I couldn't play Mass Effect 1 because it wasn't out on PlayStation yet.
Yeah.
It didn't come out on PlayStation until around the same time Mass Effect 3 finally came out. And then I finally got to play it. But I basically I had never heard of Mass Effect before, and was just outside on my lunch break at work where I was working at the time, and coworkers were talking about, it's like, this game sounds fun. I have to look into it. Then again, at the time, basically the only thing I really played was Lord of the Rings Online, so.
Yeah. A lot of people had issues with the needing to for ease of getting the perfect endings, get the what's it called, online play done.
Well, it wasn't just ease, at least in the original game. To get the perfect ending, you actually had to. You either had to do that or do some stuff with the app.
People say that, but I didn't. Because when I first had 3, I had no internet at the time. So I just really went through everything and 100%ed.
Because you had to get like a 7600. No, they lowered it later, but at launch,
Yeah.
that's what you had to have. 'Cause you had to
Yeah,
have
I
like
know,
a
I'm
7600
talking about
rating.
because even after the update first came out, I couldn't get the update because I didn't have internet.
Yeah.
So
And then I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
how you got a perfect ending because it mathematically wasn't
Yeah,
possible.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know either because like I see what they say and I'm just like, mm. I had the resources, so
Because you had to have like a 7600 combat rating to get the perfect ending, and uh, even if the max you could get just from making the right choices was like 72. It was like just short of it. And it was literally, you just basically had to go through and play like one multiplayer match. Or do like 2 missions on the app or something like that.
I didn't even know there was an app.
Yeah, there was a companion app with 3.
Where is this garage?
Oh, finally the queue popped. After like 70 minutes.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I hit some bugs that miscalculated my stuff. That could be it. Because, like, I remember, like, in Mass Effect 2, when you go to get the dog tags,
Yep.
I sometimes got 21. But there's only supposed to be 20. So.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's interesting. It's just like, and they severely lowered it with the remaster.
Oh, yeah, it's like 500 now or something.
5500.
5,500. That's right. Which, even with a lot of bad choices, you just get it.
Yeah.
I wish they brought back the multiplayer. The multiplayer was fun.
It was. And I mean, it's still over on Mass Effect Andromeda. It's still live. I actually played a couple rounds of it the other day.
Yeah. I mean, even the original series is on until, like, I don't know how long ago. Not too long ago. It was just no one was playing it.
Oh, there's still people playing it on Andromeda.
I'm talking about Mass Effect 3's.
I know you are, but it's just like,
yeah,
I was just saying on Andromeda.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out.
I actually need to do some of it because to try and get platinum on that game. I either need to play it through on the hardest difficulty setting or do a couple of multiplayer matches on like the highest setting. Which I think I'd rather do the multiplayer matches than I would the entire gameplay.
Yeah.
I think that's like about the only trophy left I have to get for Andromeda.
Then I'll go see this traffic garage thing.
Oh no, I need to do one. I need to romance one more different character. Because you have to romance like 3 different characters across multiple playthroughs.
You know what I liked also about Mass Effect? That for the more alien races, the ones that really look more alien, not just Quarians having different feet,
Yeah.
they didn't just throw tits on them to make them female. Which was nice.
And well, I mean, they also kind of implied that there were more than just male and female genders in some of those species.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like there's so many times where there's just like, it doesn't matter that it's a lizard person. Throw a couple of double D's on it. Now it's female. And it just, weird. Like when I play Andromeda again, I'm Garrus's. I think it's Garrus's sister, right? I think she's Garrus's sister.
Who?
The Turian female in your squad.
I mean, you meet Garrus' sister in 3, but no, you don't. She's not the one who went to Andromeda. In fact, the Turian that is on your crew in Andromeda has her own sister that you have to go save.
Yeah, I thought she was also related to Garrus. Maybe I'm remembering wrong.
I think she makes some comments as to knowing who Garrus is. But no, as far as I can tell, she's not related.
I'm gonna look.
Vetra Nix.
Yeah. I guess not related because I'm not bringing anything up. That would have been a big thing.
Yeah.
All I can see is I can't even find her saying anything about knowing. Hold up.
I don't know. I feel like if had been his sister, that would have been a major point of conversation. And
Yeah.
and 3 about his sister having gone on some ship on to some other galaxy. I
Yeah.
doubt they would have
I
kept that, been able to keep that secret.
Yeah, I can't even find anything about her talking about Garrus. I think I remember her talking about him too. The closest thing
It,
I find is someone going, "Hey, is Vetra the Turian that Garrus boned in the military?"
well, it's like I don't
And
think
I'm
it was
like,
like a direct con. I don't think it was like a direct comment. It was just there's enough information there to go. That's probably Garrus that she's talking about.
yeah, that might be it. Yeah, because the only info I see that says, "Oh yeah, this is a remark about Garrus," it kind of is that, "Oh, there's a Archangel skin."
I don't know. There's just so many questions about Andromeda and all its lore that have been left unanswered from the books and the game. That's just there's so much more I want to know.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been petrified. That's why I can't move. Oh wait, stay out of the blue spinny thing. they had their own version of Ultima weapon. Forgot about that. Queen of Hearts when she was young, upstart teenagers, my guess. During her goth phase. Although I have a question for you. Do you really think BioShock counts as a horror game?
BioShock?
Yeah. Because I was looking for horror games on Steam, and what came up? BioShock.
1 and 2, I would say yes.
Okay. I've never played either 1 or 2, so.
Which one have you played?
Infinite.
Infinite? Yeah, Infinite, no. Because Infinite, it's like brightly lit all the time, but 1 and 2, you're underwater deep, and a lot of times it's just dark, and you have like warped, like chemically altered people just jumping at you randomly sometimes. So there are some jump scares and stuff.
Okay.
Infinite's more straightforward, shoot through the enemies to get to the end. There's actually some scary stuff and like, ooh, spooky atmosphere going on.
I was trying to plan out my what games I'm going to be playing this month, and it was like,
it's like Infinite more deals with just like the political thing kinda of, oh, guy has power, he wants to use it to conquer, while 1 and 2 deal with the, we tried to make a utopia, but the drug powers we made it kind of dystopian, nearly zombie horror. Like, they kind of have their faculties, but they don't really, the people.
yeah.
Like, they have enough faculties to sometimes work together, but not enough for them to actually join society.
Their sanity is questionable.
Oh, it's gone, pretty much. But also, it's like, you don't have a flashlight. Either there's light or there isn't. And there's never actually just light, really. It's like there's some little lights, but you never really have a. You're never gonna see something on the level of a well-lit room or sunlight, really.
Okay.
It's closer to Resident Evil like 4 with the people.
I've never played that, so.
Have you played any Resident Evil?
I played through 5.
I don't know if I've enough, but
And then I played. I've started Nemesis before on the N64. I never got anywhere.
Yeah. But I would definitely consider it a horror game for the genre, at least.
I don't know, it's just like, after playing 3, or Bioshock Infinite, it's just like, this is really horror? Okay. I'll have to check with some people, make sure before I look at picking that up and playing that here this month. Although I think I'm either going to do, the next story game I do this month is either going to be Fear 2 or Yakuza Dead Souls.
Yeah. Okay, that's the name of the car, the Rayfield Caliber. And damn, it's not gonna spawn. They changed it. It used to be that you just go to a spot after you get Pan Am's stuff back.
Mm-hmm.
After a couple of days waiting in game, but now it looks like they made it what's it called? Street cred.
Oh, yeah. Basically the thing that looks like a Bugatti Veyron.
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
One of the, used to be the fastest production car in the world. I do believe Bugatti's come out with a whole nother car that's even faster now, but... But it looks very similar to that.
Yeah. Oh, man. I just remembered it being there from when I first tried to play through, even though my PC couldn't handle it before. Which is the only reason I've only been beat it now, is because my PC can handle it.
I still never.
I went back to loot.
I never liked the driving in Cyberpunk.
I mean, it's the same as GTA, really. It's kind of hard to do on mouse and keyboard.
I played on PlayStation, but I also never played GTA game.
Yeah. Well, then you won't like the driving in GTA because it's basically the same.
I own a bunch of GTA games. I've just never gotten around to playing any of them.
Well, if you pop one in for 5 minutes and get in the car, you'll see the resemblance.
Though, the game that I say has the best driving, and this beats even most racing games, to me, is the original Watch Dogs. The driving on that was just so smooth and responsive.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say necessarily responsive. It responded well to what you did and didn't necessarily over-respond to what you did. that's usually the problem I had with Cyberpunk, is it over-responded to what I did.
Yeah, some people, sometimes it over-responds, sometimes it under-responds for the same input, and it's like, especially, especially on keyboard, you, like, I don't know, if it, is it, do you go faster the harder you push the trigger?
Do what?
When you press the triggers, does how much you press it control the speed?
Not on, at least not on the PS4 version. It didn't. At least I don't think so. It was basically just like, you've pulled the trigger, it's going to go as fast as it goes.
Then it's a little different because in GTA, on a controller, the more you pull the trigger and the faster it goes. So like you could just kind of hold it and it'll drive like 20 to 5 to 30 miles an hour, so you can still control. That sucks. Like all I would like is just when I'm in the car, if I could just press shift once I get to a good speed, just have that be like cruise.
Yeah. I don't know. I've not
So
had a
like,
car with cruise control in a decade.
yeah, mine has it, but not even like a complete cruise control. Just like while I'm holding it, it won't speed up past that point, and then I can let go, let it speed up a bit. You know, just something.
Yeah.
Because most of the driving areas where you drive in Night City, you don't really have room to continuously go 200 miles an hour. There's so many turns you gotta take.
But I mean, that makes sense for a city.
Yeah, no, I'm not complaining about the turns. I'm just like, you can't make it impossible to control your car's speed.
No, you can't.
While having those turns, you know? That's my thing. But sometimes, because yeah, the controls are just, they're not consistent even. It's like sometimes I'll be going 200 miles an hour and I'll hit a turn and it won't turn at all. But then I'll be going 30 at the start to make a turn and I'll just like do a complete 180 and I'm like, what? It don't make sense. I should sell a bunch of this. Right. Great. I need more. Alright.
Although I will say, Forza Horizon 5 was actually drives pretty decently. Even if I am rather terrible at it.
make the next level of my pistol until I get to forget what level. Let's see. 12 crafting. I'm at 7, so I need 5 more levels. Damn it. I will say that is one thing I've liked also about the leveling system is that while you have your attributes and then your perks, they're not tied together. That's been really nice. It's like if you want to do certain things, the attribute part has to be a certain level. If you want to do others, you just got to level the skill up by using it.
Yeah.
Especially since this is a game where there's a limit to how many points you get. So 10 bodies like a minimum needed, I believe, depending on the guns you want to use. Because if you don't have 10 body, you can't really move with an LMG or big sniper.
No, you can't. But I was also more partial to the submachine guns and assault rifles.
Yeah.
Do not relax your guard yet. The air is still heavy with its foul presence. Already taken care of the fiend, have you? And you didn't even need that dusty old relic to do it. Be careful, Captain. Diabolos yet lurks in the shadows. Finally have I reclaimed the Shadow Queen's power for mine own, yet still am I harried by your noisome weevils. I must needs quit this realm for a time, and when I have grown accustomed to my newfound might, there might shall be a reckoning for your insolence. This ain't the time for napping, Furball. You've still got a job to do.
Ooh. Big wreck.
Always love those.
I was doing the few times I could just speed straight, and a car came out and smacked me. The route from Badlands to Delamain.
My work here is unfinished. In Ciciar's name, I unmake thee, Diabolus. My master's will be done. For 15 centuries have I yearned for this power. Thou canst not unmake me. No! No!
Now I gotta break into Delamain. Oh Great. Kind of glitch in the matrix. Thank God I got auto save back Delamains.
I do remember not too long ago there was an actual mathematical theorem proposed that actually laid out the groundworks for us actually already being in a matrix.
I mean, with how the world's turning out right now, I wouldn't be surprised.
And apparently some actual prominent mathematicians actually said, yeah, the math lines up. I should have known we were wasting our breath. The captain only heeds the siren in his heart, and damn the consequences. I told you you'd be lost without me, didn't I? And look at you, Puss, getting knocked out cold in your moment of glory. You weren't like to
I
get
mean, the
another
game.
chance to honor
I
your
mean, the world does
master's
feel like
memory, and
a
you
game
almost
where
missed it.
where the company just like abandoned it, leaving it running without fixing any of the new bugs coming out.
But I suppose you pulled through at the last. I'll give you that much. Or, I mean, just look at it how Bethesda looks at bugs in games like Skyrim and
It's a
Fallout.
feature.
They're features, not bugs.
Oy vey. That's a scary thought. We're in a world run by Bethesda. On some parts, that's kind of cool, but on the other most parts, it's horrifying.
Spare me your concern and your lectures. You all knew I wasn't like to stay abed with such a grand adventure in the making. I'd rather break every bone in my body than be stripped of the freedom to go where I please. Besides, all's well that ends well, eh? Diabolus is dead, and we're all alive. That counts as a victory in my book. It's just a pity that it cost me the Ramil and the doing of it. Hope she rests easy on that island refuge. Leoford appears to be mourning the loss of the Ramil. Bah, me goggles are a mess. When I was get me a new pair of goggles and a new airship, I suppose we should be glad we didn't lose aught else after driving headlong into a void sit nest. Yeah, probably. Now that we've taken the skies back, it's time we were taking our leave. The Talons and the Red Bills can kiss this brief alliance farewell. Unless, of course, you're interested in a more permanent arrangement. You or bootlookers might think your voice is siren song, but it grates on me ears like a harpy's screech. No, this is the first and last time we fly together. We're back to being rivals, the way it's always been. You are a very stubborn man, Red Bill, but you do well to remember, I always get what I want in the end. Head back to me quarters and see if the furball's hurts. I'll be along in a bit. I feel so foolish. I demanded that Leoford remain behind only to have him rescue my mission from certain failure. A failure that would have made mock of your heroic efforts as well. You are too kind, but words exist that can properly express my contrition. I know not how to even begin making my apologies. I should like to approach the captain, but he has the air of a man who seeks solitude. 'Tis strange to see him so melancholy. Could it be the loss of the Ramil which troubles him so? Nay, I shan't intrude upon his contemplation with clumsy questions and trite platitudes. Let us leave him be for the moment. Mr. Sussy, if I might ask you a question, do you know the cause of the captain's melancholy? Is it because of the Ramil? Pray tell me if it is so. I cannot help but feel responsible for the vessel's destruction. I would better understand Leoford's present distress. If you really want to understand, I suppose you should start with how the captain was orphaned as a child. As matters turned out, he was taken in by a high-born widow who raised him as her son. From what Leoford has told me, his adopted mother was a kind, quiet-spoken woman, but due to some illness or other, she was rarely able to venture outside. Instead, she spent hours reading to her boy from a library well stocked with books from faraway lands. Leoford cared for her as her malady grew worse by the day, and was there by her side when death finally carried her away to Thal's halls. While she was alive, she never did ask much of him. Not long before she passed on, however, she was wrung from him one single promise: that he escape the conformity she had always endured and live his life as free as a bird. As you've likely guessed, her name was Ramil. That's her portrait there, hanging on the wall. Ah, this explains much. I had wondered as to the origin of this vessel's naming. The Sky Pirate Way is the life Leoford chose for himself, but I like to think he named his ship the Ramil so that his mother would be there to watch over all of his adventures. Since when were you so loose-lipped about a comrade's private past, Stasia? I ain't in the habit of leaning on people's sympathies, so you can all keep that tidbit to yourselves, eh? And I thought I told you to see to the furball's wounds. Look at your cape, puss. It's in tatters. Come here a moment. A scarf? For me? Aye, that's a little present we give to every new Red Bill. Ramil taught me that's not protecting memories that's important. It's having the strength to follow your path and make those memories in the first place. Seeing how determined you were to clean your master's slate, I'd say you'd fit right in with our crew. Listen, if you're thinking that little airship meant a lot to me, then you'd be right. But I'd rather mourn a hunk of metal than lose them as they can share in me highs and lows. So, let's get this straight, Puss. There's no need for apologies. A Sky Pirate makes his choice, but he sticks by it. The life of a Sky Pirate. As I seem to be bereft of both place and purpose now. I suppose I shall accept your offer. I'm yours to command, Captain.
I never did the Delamain quests. Now seeing it through to the end like this, whew.
I sadly can't remember which quest those were.
The one for the taxi cab?
Ah, yes. There's a similar quest line in Watch Dogs Legion.
Yeah.
Though it's a lot more annoying to do.
Delamain's is a good one to start with. It's just a nice explore the town and start seeing stuff happen.
So that's not the one where you have to chase down his cabs?
It is.
Oh, okay.
You have to chase them down, but it's still like they're in different areas, so they like make you drive and explore a bit. It's a nice way to introduce you to the city.
Yeah. The Watch Dogs Legion version is more annoying because it's an entirely random event. You have to find cabs that are randomly across the entire place going haywire. The life of Skypert. As I seem to be bereft of both place and purpose now, I suppose I shall accept your offer. I'm yours to command, Captain. Glad to hear it. Your first duty is to join us in giving our adventurer here a proper send-off. Well, it's about bloody time you two saw eye to eye, but honestly, Captain, you don't mean to head out in those rags, do you? Let's get you cleaned up as well before we say our fond farewells. It's time we parted ways. Let's give you an escort down to Cold Wind. That was some adventure, but our journey into the unknown is over. For the now. When the skies spit out some new mystery, you can bet that I'm coming to find you. After all, there ain't nobody else who handles the unexpected quite like you do. High adventure and the heady rush of danger. Surely in this life there is no greater reward. Okay. Well, that...
Ooh, sweet, another PAX. I've been wanting more PAXs.
Now what do I want to do? Now that I finally finished that quest line. Guess I'll probably just do some roulettes here for the rest of the night. Roulettes and some island sanctuary.